In this Satisfactory Train tutorial I will show you how to build and automate your first train route and what you have to pay attention for. Let's take a quick look at the basics. To build a train route that carries goods, you need the following objects: at least 2 train stations, at least 2 identical freight or liquid platforms, at least 1 train and at least 1 wagon, a rail network obviously, and sufficient electricity. Directions. In addition, we have to think about the driving directions of our train. With manual control, trains can travel both forwards and backwards. But as soon as you store an automatic timetable, they only go forward. The same applies in a similar way to stations and freight platforms. These also have a direction indication when they are built. Trains can only enter the station if the direction of the train is the same as the direction of the station. With one exception, they can only leave the station in the direction of the station. This leads to 3 basic considerations on how to build your train stations. Option 1, 2 termini stations. Let's look at the exception first, how you can leave a station against the direction of travel. This may be necessary if you have 2 terminal stations as the final stations. If you want to build 2 terminal stations, you have to proceed as follows. The direction arrows of both stations must point in opposite directions. The freight platforms must be placed inside the 2 stations. You will need 2 trains. Between them there is 1 or maybe more wagons. Train A can now enter station A. Train B can leave station A because it is in the direction of travel to station B. Disadvantage of this option: you need 2 trains. Option 2, turnaround loop. With this option, it does not matter in which direction the stations point. Station A and B are connected with each other by a rail as usual. However, the rail network is continued at the end and beginning of the 2 stations respectively, until it wraps itself around the station like a loop, and can be reconnected with the rails that connect both stations in the beginning. A single train can thus go around the station. A second train is not necessary. Option 3, turning circles. With this option you also only need 1 train. It is particularly suitable for narrow sections of a track. So if it is not possible to place a turning loop at the station, both stations must be facing in opposite directions. After the station, you continue the rail network and form a loop, so that the train can go back through the station in a circle. Automation of the railway track. In order to put an automated line into operation, we first place our train. Behind the train we place our freight car. We now enter the first station, subscribe to Woid, great name. As soon as we have entered the station, we press the V button on the keyboard. The planning of the route opens. First we click twice on the plus sign below. We have 2 stations that we want to add. The little orange next stop shows you which station will be the next one. Click on the first station. Thank you, like and share with the mouse. Then select subscribe to Woid on the left. As soon as this is done, click on autopilot off so that it turns to autopilot on. The train will now start moving. If you get a message changes to timetable, close the window once and open it again. Done, the train is moving. Automate freight traffic. So how do we get goods from A to B? First of all, we need to have goods loaded at a station. To do this, we connect a conveyor belt or a pipe to the freight platform or liquid platform. We configure the freight platform and select that the goods are to be loaded on this platform. To do this, the respective symbol for loading, unloading must be yellow. The left symbol means unload, the right symbol means load. At the final station, we select unload as an option. As soon as we send our train on its journey, we load it at station A and unload it at station B. Tips and tricks. Tip number 1. If possible, you should also use foundations at train stations. This makes construction so much easier. Tip number 2. You need a freight platform for solid objects. For liquids, you need a liquid platform. But for the train itself, there is only one wagon. Depending on the goods that need to be transported, this is loaded with a container or a liquid container. Tip number 3. Trains have a lot of power, but there are limits to their strength. Remember that on steep gradients. Tip number 4. Do you have a massive incline to master? Attach a second train in the same direction of travel. It will give an additional boost. Trains need a lot of power, especially when starting and on gradients. Think of power reserves. Tip number 6. The train to wagon ratio is about 1 to 4. This means that one train can easily pull 4 wagons, even uphill.